Hello and welcome to our first master class with my dear friend Britney Yanantano.
Yanantuno, that was so close.
Yanantano. I am so excited to be here in this space today because when my guides asked me to create this space, they gave me a theme for the entire year. And they also guided me to the teacher who would be helping to facilitate this. And today we are in the energetics of the 111 portal, and we are also in the energetics of a new moon in Capricorn. And it is just the perfect, beautiful time to be setting intentions right now. Not only is the moon, the full moon in Capricorn, but so is the sun. So this time is all about setting our intentions. It's about accountability. It's about organization and prioritizing what's important first. It's about creating the sacred space that we need to manifest our highest and best. And those of us that are star seeds are also going through this wave of healing from the Lyran star seeds, which I'm a part of, and the draconian invasion, where the planet of Lyra was destroyed during a galactic war. The draconians came in and just destroyed the entire planet. And the Lyrans were this beautiful, divine feminine. They were not expecting this wound. Many of them escaped into this adopted planet, which is Earth, which is why so many of us that are of the Lyran descent can feel homesick and also very connected to the Earth as well, because this is our energetic adopted home. So we are very connected to this Earth. We are very connected to keeping her safe and for allowing this energetics to come out, where we can really heal the divine feminine, and we can really help connect the connection of the Earth to ourselves. So often, especially as children, we're raised as separate from the Earth. So many times, even in the biblical story of Adam and Eve, it's that the Earth is hard, and it's pillage, and it's work, and it's a punishment. And yet with like the indigenous stories of the turtle, then there is this connection to the Earth as being our home and everything created within it as an oasis. And so right now we're kind of moving out of this suffrage and pillage and punishment into this beautiful awakening and reconnection to the Earth, to the plants, to the crystal kingdoms. And as part of that, the Lyran star seeds, and as a crystalline grid earth keeper, I'm here kind of anchor in and align our vision with the Earth so we can begin co-creating a beautiful space for all of us to live in grace and ease and happiness. And that takes a lot of grounding. That means that we have to be really connected to this Earth, to the beings of this Earth, both seen and unseen. There's so many beings that need this Earth to survive, and humans have this like punishment. We want to scrub the Earth because it's a punishment because of this Adam and Eve story. And we need to remember that it is one side of the story. There's the victim mentality, or there's the lesson mentality, right? And there's two sides of that coin, but remember, a coin has a third side. And we're moving to this third side where we can be part of the Earth, connected to the Earth, and be able to allow that momentum to grow within us. And so as we're working with the energetics of the new moon, this perfectly aligns with intention. Everything about Capricorn is about organization. It's about being able to really focus on your goals and really being able to see what you want to create in this world. Some Crystals that will be really, really good for this time, citrine. If you are creating a sacred altar, I would use citrine, which is really good for manifesting prosperity. It connects to that sacred womb and that fire within us to create and manifest the life that we want. Clear quartz will also help us in terms of letting go of that which no longer serves us and allowing us to transmute the energy that's holding us back and to amplify what we want to call in, what we want to create as we are staying focused on our goals. So those two crystals also, root chakra crystals will be good with this too. Garnet and obsidian. Garnet is really nice because garnet also has that passion and that creativity that's connected in with it. And because we are manifesting, we are creating, it gives you that little bit of a spark that will allow us to do that. It's time to create our visions. Right now, we want to be just taking some time to be setting our goals. And the one thing my guides keep saying is, what do you want? What do you really, really want? No distractions, no shoulds and woulds and coulds. And if this happens, then maybe this will happen. It's about thinking outside of that linear objective block that divine masculine is creating things and putting them into the block and making them happen. It's that very A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you need that. But we are also in a time of that divine feminine coming in and supporting us where we co-create what we want. So we think about it, we manifest it, we call it in, and then we take the beautiful divine masculine to add the action steps to create what we want to do. It's both. For so long, we've been taught it's all about a 5-year plan and action steps and accountability. Yes, yes, yes. But it's a yes and. Anybody that's worked with me knows that one of my philosophies in life is looking at the cosmic improv with the universe of co-creating, which is saying yes and. So it is the 3-dimensional of creating a plan and intentions and accountabilities and breaking it into small steps. Yes. And it's about surrendering to that divine beauty of being able to co-create better than we can imagine, of stopping the hows and needing this world to create in our way, the square peg in the round hole. We are allowing ourselves to be water. That fluid slips through the holes and creates, right? That's what we're creating right now, fluidity in our manifestation. And so just take a moment now to kind of align your energy with Mother Gaia. This call, we're setting this up for all the people who are watching it now in this space and who are on the replay. So that way, all the healing that comes into this space is alive and vibrant and active at your time of viewing it in the now moment. So just take a moment and close your eyes and slowly start breathing your energy from the top of your head, the scattered thoughts, the how will I create this? Am I worthy of this? Will it happen? I don't have enough money for this, and the job isn't here, and this isn't there, and all those thoughts, and just allow them like petals to just slowly fall off. You can't glue a petal back to a rose. You simply let it go. So allow these things, these thoughts that are holding you back, that are preventing you from creating what you are here to create, allow them to let go. And with each breath, see the petals falling. At the crown of your head, you have a beautiful rose. And as you breathe your energy down, the petals fall of that which holding you back, that which no longer serves you. And as you breathe down to your lips, feel the energy buzz on your lips, more petals unfolding. This is the part of you that is beginning to unfold, allowing you to co-create. And breathing your energy down through your throat and to your heart space. Just allowing that energy to come in, and more petals will fall. And let them go. Breathing your energy down to your lungs, allowing that breath to fill all of the cavities of your back and your chest. Beautiful fresh air, cleansing and purifying and healing, grounding and connecting. Breathing your energy down more to your solar plexus, your I am space, your spark of creation, where you came into this world when you incarnated here. That spark of I am worthy, I am divine. And allow anything that holds in your way that makes you feel less than or unworthy, allow those petals to just drop beautifully, allowing yourself to feel anchored and grounded and loved in the light of life. Breathing your energy down to your hara, which is your sacred womb space, whether you are male or female. We all have this sacred energetic center called the hara. And this is where we co-create with the universe, where every idea is a seed that is planted for manifestation, where we water what is beautiful, where we create our own reality, where we allow ourselves to be co-creators with the divine. Allowing ourselves to allow anything and everything that is not in alignment with that to just drop off like petals of the rose. And breathing our energy down, feel the energy move to your hips and allowing any of that stored trauma, feelings and emotions that have been blocked throughout the years, throughout the ages, allowing that energy to just allow it to flow and fall like petals from the rose. Allowing yourself to be both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, two legs, two sides of yourself. The left represents divine feminine and the right divine masculine. You are two sides of one each. Allow yourself to become and co-create and connect and align with both of those vibrant energies within you, healed and whole and complete. Anything and everything that is not in alignment with that, like the roses, just let it fall off and fall. Release and transmute. Now your energy moves down to your knees. Your knees represent the momentum to move forward in this lifetime. This ability to move forward, to bend at the knee, to be able to bend and move, to walk forward, to ebb, to flow. Anything and anything that is not in alignment with that, allow that to just drop off like the petals of a rose, aligning you with your co-creative movement of your divine blueprint. Feel that energy now move down to your ankles. Your ankles are an aspect of the joy in co-creating. They are an aspect, much like your wrists, they are connected to the movement of your life with grace and ease, stability and grace. Being able to roll and move in different directions, to pivot and to go in different directions, to be able to see the way the path leads you and follow it, following your own divine blueprint, not the guidance of other people telling you what and how to do, but your divine intuition, walking the path for you. Divine masculine and divine feminine in co-creation, walking forward on your path with grace and ease. Anything not in alignment with that, allow it to just fall off like petals of the rose. Now moving down to the soles of your feet, your toes, the arch, allowing yourself to feel connected to the soul of who you are. Allowing yourself to be divine masculine, divine feminine, and bridge co-creator to earth below you and heaven above. Anything not in alignment with that, allow that to simply fall off like petals of the rose. Now send your energy down like the roots of the rose, down through the earth, connecting you in and aligning you in with the center of Mother Gaia, aligning you in with the earth, with all of the crystalline grid and all of the sacred temples of this earth. We ourselves are ley lines of this earth. Everywhere within the earth is in our meridians and our chakras. We are connected to every part of this earth, but we are anchored into our space of the here and now because that is where we are called to do the work. Feel yourself connecting and aligning with beautiful Mother Gaia. Feel the love of all the earth. Feel connected to this home that loves and supports you and cradles you and loves you. And feel the desire to love in return, to take care of the earth and all of the beings, the plants, the crystal kingdoms, the mineral kingdoms. We are all one. Feel your family of the earth connecting you to the roots all around. Take a moment and just sending your roots down. The earth is calling us. The guides are calling us, allowing us to be connected to the center of the earth. And also connected fire. And life can get in the way. That's the thing about life. Calls can come in, they can come in and distract us. But it's this beautiful alignment of allowing that all the fabric of life, the distractions, still keep us anchored in. In improv, when I was doing improv, we would always be on stage and we would say that whenever anything happens on stage, you have to use it. You can't rail against it and say, oh no, that person's cell phone went off when I was on stage. They ruined my scene. It was no, they were part of the scene. They were part of that energetics. And that's where the yes and of co-creating with the earth comes in. It's about acknowledging that all of the things that are in our world are here, where we can still be connected and grounded into the earth, but still having these very human experiences. And that's where we create and walk our divine path. That being said, let me pass this over to our beautiful master teacher today, who will talk about intention, and we will hold the space together for you and for all of us.
Thank you. That was lovely. And speaking of distractions, whoever was watching this, my cat really wanted to be a part of this and still does. And I think many of you might know cats really get into this energy healing. And every time there's a healing, she's here. So anyway, speaking of distractions.
Cats are very connected to the Lyran starseed that we were talking about as well.
Interesting. Well, she needed to be a part of that, and she will hopefully leave me alone. So, yeah, thanks for inviting me to talk about intention. And we talked about this a little bit already. And I told on the Zoom before, I was like, why? I wondered why she would choose me to speak about intention. And the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. So those of you that don't know me, my name is Britney. I'm a nurse practitioner. I've been in the field of nursing about 20 years, nurse for 13, nurse practitioner for 10 or for 7, sorry. I decided I needed to do a little more, do things a little more outside the box after I had discovered what Reiki did for me. So as I kind of went along, I learned a lot of different energy modalities because, as I think I'll explain, working on one area of your life is a really good start, but then you have to start to look at other areas of life as well. So I can do all the energy healing that I want. And I did that for a while, even though consistency is a problem. Sometimes taking action is a problem. So I got a little bit more into family constellation work, breath work, which is really changing your body to a more alkaline state, which puts when your body is in an acidic state, it's very inflamed. So there are a lot of things that we put in our bodies right now, as far as food, drink, or stress, that make our bodies really acidic. So getting our bodies into a more alkaline state by doing some breath work, or ultimately we have to look at what overall stress can we decrease, what foods can we take out of our lives eventually that are putting us in this acidic state because it's causing inflammation, which many functional medicine providers speak about all the time, and it's the basis for a lot of disease in the body. So looking at all of those areas. And then we also carry traumas in the body, and that can be current life, past life, if you will, and it can also be genetic and generational. So we're carrying the traumas of our loved ones in our bodies as well, given that as humans, and specifically women, all humans, right? We're in the body of their mother, in the uterus of their mother, and we were actually inside of her body when she was inside the body of her mother, because our eggs have been inside our mother's body since she was born. So if you think about it, we're carrying the DNA and genetic traumas of, they say, up to 7 generations back. So we can start to look at things. What am I carrying? Is it mine? Do I need it? Is it working for me? Is it something that I needed in the past that I no longer need? And we have to become balanced enough to know what's working for us and what isn't. So as Paige talks so greatly about all these things and manifesting and what are my needs, my wants, my desires, well, that is the biggest question, right? And then we start to think, are we creating these desires and wants from our ego self, which is more the left side of the coin she talked about, or the left brain, the masculine side that does all the action planning, which is so important, as she said? Or are these intuitively guided, or these are soul wants, our soul needs? And that's looking at our manifestation from the right side of the coin, or the feminine body. And really, a lot of people have said, which really was confusing to me, you got to just trust and surrender, trust and surrender, trust and surrender. Well, it didn't make sense to me, because those of you that know that I say I work more in the 3D, which is more of that masculine action and planning. You got to have a balance. So yes, I can trust and surrender with this thought that I had that I'm going to manifest X, Y, or Z. But if I didn't take the time to create a good action plan, then I'm going to be off balance. So what I created in energetic restoration, that I'm founder and CEO of, is my goal is to incorporate all of these modalities that we talked about. So breath work, Reiki, and frequency healing, which really you can add. So all things energy and frequency can be added to anything physical, but you have to do both. So a little bit of intuitive guiding and coaching, which if you had a Reiki session with me, I always say the end is my favorite part, when we're saying what's making sense, what did we see in the body that's clicking with what we talked about prior to the session, and what are the action steps we can take to change to keep that energy in alignment. So all of the things I do family constellation therapy, which is looking at those generational traumas, because we've got to figure out where these imbalances are coming in the body, and whether it is nutrition or stress, how do we fix that? Or how do we just start to make a little dent in that? Because that's a challenge. Is it an energetic thing? And it all comes down to, you have to do the daily work. So unfortunately, you can't go to one person or go to one session per se, or try to add in one thing that's going to give you this overall balance. But what we can do is start to make little steps, small changes, and that's how we start to build that ladder of getting to that goal. So people get so disappointed, right, when they say, I want to manifest this, I want more money, or I need this, and we don't really know how to get there. So people would say, if you're not an energetic match to that vibration, or you're not by a vibrational match, then you're not going to have it. So it gets confusing of, how do I get there? Because I want it, and then you don't get it overnight, and then you get discouraged. So then you're certainly not a vibrational match to that. So the goal is, even if you came for a session or you didn't, to take all of these modalities, release what's holding you back, realign all the energies in the body so that you are in that balance, so that you're able to redesign that life that you want, or you've created a life of purpose, a life of joy. And how am I going to manifest that? But it does take all parts. So I work with clients to put these modalities together. Which one suits you now? Which one suits you today? And the ultimate goal is how can I teach you ways to use at home so that you can keep yourself in that vibrational alignment? Because the goal isn't to always come back to me and I can help you get over a hump, or most healers can, but some people know healers need the same thing. So as I'm helping you do the work, I'm also doing the work every single day. So I'm starting to look now at, my GI tract, why, sometimes you could have loose stools or constipation or indigestion. And those are all different signs that could be inflammation in the body. But some people say, I don't have that, but they have fatigue, they have headaches or intolerances to food. So as humans, we're starting to eat foods that are really processed. They're not good for our bodies. So it kind of takes all of these modalities together to really keep the body in this alignment. And that's my goal of energetic restoration. And I thought today, what could I do as far as a session for you guys that would be the best to help create these intentions, help you create the actions that are divinely guided, but also well thought out and planned, because you can't be in analysis paralysis and plan, because you'll never take an action. But you also don't want to take an action with zero planning. Sometimes you have to. If it's a split-second decision, you got to just go with your gut, and that is a good thing to do. So a balance between your intuition and your brain is that balance between the left side or masculine with the right side or the feminine. So all super interesting, but the issue I think that we all ask is, how do we stay in balance? And that's going to look different to every single person. So I thought about doing one modality today, and then I realized I created energetic restoration to be a specific or broad, actually, type of session that could include one thing that I do or all things that I do. So I'd like to do a little bit of everything today, and we're going to set the intention that I came up with. I consistently take action that is equally divinely guided and appropriately planned toward my wants, needs, and desires. So we're going to start by putting this intention into what's called the Healy. This is a device that takes the intention that you desire, and it actually delivers the frequency to your bodies that are necessary to get your energy and vibration and frequency to that state. It actually has a quantum sensor in it, so it will do a scan of the physical body. And today we're going to use it on a group, and then it can vibrate those frequencies into the field. Could be the field of a group, could be a field of a person, an animal, or it could be just for you. So today I've set this up so that we can vibrate this into the group. So I called it the New Moon Zoom on 1/12/24. So I'm going to get this set up here. So Healy's pretty easy. It works on an app on the phone, and I've got that set up to the New Moon Zoom. It does have the quantum sensor, so I'm actually going to do a scan. And it's going to allow me to pick all Healy programs. And I'm going to have this in my hand, but intending it for the entire group, those here now and those who will listen to the recording. And throughout the rest of the session that I do, we're going to, these will be being generated or given into the entire field. So we start with all Healy programs, and I've told it that affirmation or that intention that I consistently take action that is equally divinely guided and appropriately planned toward my wants, needs, and desires. We're going to connect real quick here, and it's going to do a scan.
Brittany, can you repeat that so I can write it down, the affirmation?
Yes, it is. I consistently take action that is equally divinely guided and appropriately planned toward my wants, needs, and desires.
One more time.
I consistently take action that is equally divinely guided and appropriately planned toward my wants, needs, and desires.
Thank you.
So Healy has thousands and thousands of frequencies. And what came up for us today is stimulation programs, bioenergetic support, sleep programs, which we all need, and then deep cycle programs and bioenergetic vitalization programs. I can offer further information on these, I think, probably at a later time. I don't want to take too much time, but we are going to just then tell this to vibrate into the field. And I'm going to set a time so that as we start doing this session, these will also be being vibrated into the field. So that is a really cool way to take the unbalanced mind out of the equation. And I say that because even as an energy worker or a healer, sometimes I look at a symptom in my own body and I don't know why it's there. And for instance, today my eyes have been really dry, they've really been hurting, and I don't really have a good reason. I haven't, they're just dry. And I'm like, okay, I want to be able to have eyes that are bright and vibrant, and I want to see truth, but I want to also have discernment. And that's what I told the Healy. And I would have chosen like an eyesight or something related to the eyes, and it actually chose the sacral chakra for me. So interesting that you talked about that today. I don't know if you want to make a comment on that and how that would be related.
Well, the sacral chakra is all about creating and manifesting. So the eyes are how you see the world that you're creating. So when we're not in alignment with what we're trying to co-create with the universe, it would make sense to me that the eyes would begin to have sensitivity, because what's happening is there's this energetic misalignment with our divine plan and what is in our field. And as we're trying to co-create, there's trying to be this balance that's coming in. So I love that. That's beautiful.
Isn't that interesting? And that's really because we are human as healers, and we have to remember that even when we're doing a session on ourselves or someone else, everything is filtered through the human mind. So some things we say may make sense, some things may click, and some things don't, and that's okay. And you have to have discernment to be able to say, that doesn't really fit with me, and that's okay. Because as a healer, then we need to say, okay, maybe that wasn't it. Maybe that's what I saw for myself, and maybe that's, something that will come to them a little bit later. So it's really interesting. I love the Healy. I've been using it a lot at home. Trying to use it every single day for those exact things, because when I put a affirmation or intention out into the field, I don't always know exactly how I'm going to get it, but I do know that all things energy and frequency are consistent and they work. But you do have to put in the actions to continue to do that. And sometimes I don't feel like doing a Reiki session on myself, so I can use the Healy to help me with that while I'm working on something else. So that's why I love that. So that will be generated into the field this entire time. And then I want us to do a little bit of breath work. We're going to do about 5 minutes of breath work. And those of you who have done breath work, there's a lot of benefit to breath work, and I have some notes so I don't mess it up, but we already talked about alkalizing the body, which puts the body in a state where it's more capable of healing. So we can do that by foods, but we can also do that by breath work, because changing our breathing changes the pH in our body from more acidic to more alkaline. So it is proven to be calming. It can stimulate the vagus nerve, which is a pretty big topic right now, which is these deep breathing really stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is calming to the body. It's the opposite of the fight or flight. It can help with stress, blood pressure, emotional health. It can increase focus. It can increase energy. It can regulate the nervous system, which is also just a huge thing right now, right? We have one job in life, and we've really got to regulate our nervous systems, and that can be a little bit challenging. It can also, from a physical standpoint, improve lung capacity and improve athletic performance. And I will just quickly say, those of you who want to take part in this, if you have any uncontrolled hypertension, cardiovascular disease, uncontrolled asthma, seizures, psychiatric disorders, then just skip the breathing part and pick back up with the meditation. So I'm going to have you guys just start to bring an intention to mind, and I'm going to turn on some music here. And you can use the intention that I created, or you can use your own. And just start taking some deep breaths here. Deep breath in, and you really want to breathe down to that sacral chakra, just like Paige was talking about. Just keep breathing and really bring that intention to mind. Deep breath in. I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to get comfortable. Really pull that, create that intention in. Once you have that intention, you can either sit up, you can lay down. So really call in that intention. And first, we're going to take what's called a snake breath. And we're going to take a deep breath in through your nose, and then out through your mouth. You're going to sound like a snake. It can be slow, but exhale fully. So and then once we start to get into the meat of the breath work, we're going to do what's called energizing breaths. And these are going to be in through the nose, out through the mouth. These will be quick in and outs. And as you want to maybe just open your eyes for a second, Paige, as you breathe in, hands will be open, breathe out, they'll be closed. So in, out, in, out. And you're going to feel maybe a little bit funny. You could feel a little bit lightheaded, but just keep going. So we are actually going to get started. So intention in mind, deep breath in, all the way out through the mouth with that snake sound. And start the 30 breaths. So in, out, in, out, in, out. Hands open, hands closed, hands opened, hands closed. In, out, in, out, in, out. Just keep going with this breath work as you have that intention in mind. I want you to really feel into your body. Continue the breathing in, out, in, out, in, out. Really bring that intention to mind. What is it in your body that's keeping you from this divine action? Continue with the breath. You're doing great. We'll do just another few breaths. Continue with that breath. Continue with that breath. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. That's in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. And let's go ahead and take a breath. Deep breath in. And exhale that snake breath one more time. Fully exhale. Let's do the snake breath one more time. We're breathing in our intention. We're breathing out anything that's keeping us out of balance, keeping us from this intention, any indecision, any habits we need to get rid of, getting rid of anything that's no longer benefiting us. And let's move back into that energetic breaths. On the count of 3, 2, 1, deep breath in, out, hands open, closed. Continue to breathe. You're doing great. Continue to breathe as fast as you can. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Doing wonderful. Continue that breathing just like that. If your body feels weird, that's normal. You're going to feel a little lightheaded sometimes, and continue this breath. You're doing great. We're really increasing that lung capacity, getting that body to that alkaline state. Doing perfect. All right, let's take one more deep breath in. Snake breath out. We're going to do that one more time. Deep snake breath in. Breathe out through the teeth. As empty as you can. Empty the lungs, empty the belly. One more round of energetic breaths. In, out, in, out. Doing great. In, out, in, out, in, out. You can do it at your own pace. Just keep going, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. A little bit longer. All right. And one more deep breath in. Exhale all the way. We're going to move into a little bit of a meditation here. I want you to keep your eyes closed. We're going to do a little bit of family constellation work. Our minds should be a little calmer, our bodies a little bit calmer in this alkaline state. I want you to really bring that intention back in, whether it was moving toward action, adding something to get to that action, whether it was calling in organization, calling in discipline, calling in consistency, or releasing what no longer serves, a habit that's no longer serving, a food that's no longer serving, something we've known we needed to let go of a long time ago, but we just didn't. Maybe it's a thought pattern, maybe it's a procrastination, it could be any of those things. So I want you to really think what's coming in for you. And as you're thinking of what's really blocking you from this action toward your goals and dreams, this balanced action where you know intuitively that's what you want and what you need, and that you're capable of taking the actions and planning and doing at least enough research to know that this is the right thing. So it's that balanced action that we're calling in toward an intention. And I want to just take a minute to call in all of our ancestors, our family. And you can start to imagine your family behind you, mom and dad behind you, their parents behind them, and kind of in a triangle where you're the beginning, you're the point. That can go back as far as it wants to. And I want you to really then think of what action or what is blocking you from taking this divinely guided, balanced action. So I'm going to give you a minute to see what comes up for you. Is it a pattern? Is it a food? Is it something you learned to do as a child to protect yourself, to survive? I want you to feel in your body where this is coming up. For many, it could be the chest, the belly, could be anywhere. Sometimes we hold on to traumas and patterns that don't belong to us. So I want you to see that part that's coming up. We're going to work on healing this a little bit. We're going to send some Reiki to that part of the body. And I'll be sending that to each of you. And you can maybe feel that area. You could put your hands on that area. Maybe it feels warmth. Maybe it's just becoming a little more prominent. And we're going to be mindful. We're going to keep the part of this that belongs to us. And we're going to ask our guides to help us heal this. We're going to do that for a few minutes. Keep taking those big, deep breaths down to that hara, that sacral chakra, and exhaling. As we're sending you the Reiki, I want you to imagine this dissipating. Breathe in the healing, breathe out the pattern, the belief, the need for whatever substance you've been using, the need for whatever pattern or thought process or protection that you created. I want you to thank it for keeping you safe until now. For oftentimes we are choosing these patterns, sometimes as a child, so that we can remain safe, part of the pack. But oftentimes these things that we've chosen as children don't serve us any longer. So we're going to thank this pattern, this thought, this belief, this substance. Thank you for keeping me safe until now. But I can't do this anymore. It's no longer working. I cannot continue to live like this. And I want you to ask your ancestors, could be mom, dad, grandma, anyone that comes up, or you can keep it general like ancestors. Please give me the blessing and courage to move forward with a new pattern, one that will serve me now. I release the need for this pattern, this belief, this substance, and this has to change now. Let's give that a minute to soak in. You might feel the need to take a deep breath. And I want you to take your hands on whatever that space is. I want you to start to scoop that out of your body. And I want you to hand it back to the ancestors. This is something that they need to carry, that if it belonged to them, it makes them stronger to actually carry it. So sometimes as children, as younger people, we pick up these patterns and we think that we're being helpful, but actually it makes each of us weaker. So we're going to hand back these patterns and we're going to ask each generation, just as we did, I want you to keep what's yours, work on healing that, and hand back anything that doesn't belong to you. And we're going to visualize that going through each generation until our bodies feel lighter, or maybe you can see when that is complete. But as we're all children of God, or the universe, or the creator of light, as I like to say, is always willing to take these patterns back. So we're going to hand that all the way back to the creator of light. And we're going to ask for this pattern in this family that's no longer beneficial to be done. We're handing this back to the light. And in doing that, we're transforming it into love and light. So continue to do that. And take a nice deep breath when you're done with that. You can call in guides, angels to assist with this process. And this can be something you can do over and over, because these patterns are old and they take time. So we can do this anytime in our minds. And I would encourage you to do that. And once that's complete, I want you to think of something in the family line, could be from mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, or before, something that's beneficial in that family system. It could be dedication, it could be drive, it could be love, it could be anything that you can think of. Just see or feel or hear what pops into your mind. Because just as we want to hand these patterns back, our ancestors really want to give us gifts as well. So I want you to see what comes through your mind and see that pattern getting stronger. whether that's the ability to be consistent, take consistent action, the ability to show yourself love or others love. I want you to call that in through the family line, and that we're going to strengthen. You may feel that in your body, maybe some warmth. It's okay if you don't. And we're going to anchor in that new pattern. Maybe it's been there all along, but you're really going to start to call on it and appreciate it. And as we work to maintain balance, we release what no longer serves. We call in these strengths that we have and that we've been given that maybe we've forgotten about. And we're going to really anchor those in and ground those into our feet, our root chakra, our sacral chakra. Because as we create from this intention, we're going to use these strengths. We're going to call in balance, call in our intuition. We're going to call in discernment. Because as we're creating these goals and intentions, we do want to have discernment. Discernment to create that action plan, that research, the planning that we need to create this intention. And we're calling in that balanced ability to use the intuition, the feminine side, calling in equal balance, equal left and right brain, masculine, feminine, 3D, 5D, calling in our guides to help us co-create this life that we want to manifest. We're going to really ground this in. Take a big, deep breath. Big exhale. Do that again. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And I love doing sessions on Paige because she's so open and so yet so grounded. And I'm excited to hear her experience. And then you all who are listening to the recording can maybe compare your experience. It's not going to be the same, but she may give you some things to think about as you're really making sense of what just happened.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Britney.
You're welcome.
Well, I felt there's this generational trauma of like speaking your truth in my jaw and my throat and chest. This I just got these layers and layers of like survival, of fear, of like anger and just frustration. Like, why me? Why?
Yeah.
And when I was handing back the layers, it was like this big bucket that I was holding. It was so heavy. And then it just kept getting lighter and lighter as it was going back throughout the generations. And, you know, at first when they had the gift, I was like, I don't think they have any gifts for me, which was my thought.
Right.
And then
that intrusive thought, initial thought.
You know, I mean, I'm looking at my family line. I'm like, well, they don't have much. But what they gave me was working with the land and gardening. I'm not really like, I love and I work with the earth, but like I'm not much of a gardener. And my mom was really good with the green thumb, and it's just never really been something that I've connected with. I've tried. I've got some house plants. I love having them in the house, but and it was this like, the message was like we knew how to solve our problems with things around the house. Like it was like this ingenuity that was passed down to me, kind of like, and I know it was from my grandmother, my mom's mom. It was the Depression era, and like the fault in a lot of ways was this lack and scarcity, which is how I always looked at her lineage. And what she was trying to show me was the ingenuity of being able to work with the tools that you have. And so she gave that to me as a gift. And also I was able to see her in a new light, which was really beautiful because she's never,
Yeah.
my mom has never really come to me.
Mhm.
And that was this beautiful gift of like, working with the land and plants and gardens, and also just ingenuity of being able to not have to always give my power away to say like, this is broken, I don't know how to fix it, please fix it for me, of
Yeah.
being able to fix it myself. And I just thought that was a really beautiful gift, and also a beautiful way for me to see her life in a different way.
Yes, I love that.
In a different way. Yeah, very healing, very beautiful.
And
Thank you so much.
knowing you, I know grounding is so important. You just talked about how much you work with the earth. So this is interesting that it's giving you a different way to do that. And
Yes, yeah,
then something I love about family constellation is sometimes it's only a shift in perspective. So we can do constellations on money or wealth or abundance. And sometimes it's just a shift in perspective that, oh, I do have enough. And
hmm,
if you don't have enough, there's also a belief or a perspective that you have to shift. So, and that's coming up for me a lot too, not only with abundance and wealth, but the fix it issues, because I do give away my power a lot and I don't trust myself.
me
So
too.
I choose someone I think is knowledgeable in that area. And I'm like, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. But what keeps coming up for me is, no, you need to know.
Hmm.
You need to know and understand, and but you have to take the steps to get there. So it
Right,
just reminds me that I can trust and surrender in a way, but I have to take a little bit of accountability for myself, right? Like I have to own when something fails for me and when something works for me. And you just kind of brought that in with that ingenuity of I have the tools to fix these things and I
right.
can do it. And when I
Yeah,
can maintain that balance, that thought, then I can have the perspective that I'm able to see that.
and it's interesting too, because the intention was I consistently take action that is equally divinely guided and appropriately planned for my wants, needs, and desires. And so many times, like I've been kind of grouching with my husband about hanging pictures on the wall.
Right.
And I could do that. Like,
I know.
why am I waiting for him? It's like it's this constant thing of like giving away your power, waiting for someone else to do it, and then getting frustrated that it's not done. And
Yes.
and and it's like appropriately planned. Like I know I want this, so why am I not taking, the problem is he wants me to level it and measure it, and I don't want to do that because I'm a,
Right.
like I'm an improv, like just put the nail in.
Right.
He's gotten mad at me because I've done stuff like that, and so I'm like, well, then you do it.
Yeah.
And
Because that's the balance.
but now
And if you think about it, that's the exact interpretation of the masculine and feminine.
yeah, now I'm saying he just wants me to take the appropriately planned steps. He wants me to get out the level, and he wants me to make a pencil mark, and he wants me to do it. And maybe he'll help me if I do it. But like I just want to like throw a nail in the wall and be all like,
Yeah, I did it. Exactly.
yeah. Very, very beautiful, simple wisdom. And that's the thing that's beautiful, is that we often forget the simplicity of the wisdom that's out there,
Yeah.
and create these, vortexes of like energetics that are not in alignment, that just create more
Yes.
chaos, because it's like the
Exactly.
that cling to it, it just keeps coming in. My guides are showing me like a big ball of laundry where the laundry
Yes.
keeps coming in and
Yes.
to it. But it's really just like you just have to fold them apart and pull them apart, and it's not a big deal.
Right. And we've got to slow down to be able to do that. And we
Mhm.
all don't have time, right, to slow down, but we have to make the time. Like people say, if you don't make time for wellness, your body's going to create illness. And
Yeah.
then one other thing I was just reminded of that you actually said to me a while back was looking at things that are in your life or you're going to bring in or let go. Is this a catalyst to my healing or my wellness or my goals, or is this keeping me stuck?
Mm-hmm.
We really
Yeah.
got to start to let go of those things that are keeping us stuck. And it's not going to be perfect. And you know what? There's going to be a day where I'm going to go eat 10 cookies and I'm going to have to be fine with that. But the next day, I need to cut it back a little bit. So there's never and always, there's never anything that's going to be perfect. But the goal is that just for today, right? We can do anything for today. I'm not going to cut out sugar or any other substance or change a mindset for the rest of my life, right? But I can do that just for today.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
what action step do I need to take toward this goal today?
Yeah. And allowing yourself, I think this is something for me too, is to give myself the freedom and the permission to enjoy my moments instead of getting myself feeling guilty or angry at myself, right? Like if I want to have 10 cookies, it's a celebration and that's okay. And, forgiving myself, right? And just being able to like move forward. Um, but I will say that, Brittany's taken my chakra detox course, and it really is very much so the food that you're choosing to eat is very much so connected to where you are in alignment in terms of the chakras. And I have a course about that. But the idea of thinking about your food as energy and what you're creating is important because it's all of our world, what we eat, what we watch, what we listen to, who we associate with in so many ways, like we're creating our own reality. And so just doing everything with mindfulness, right? Like I'm going to have a cookie today. Well, that's a root chakra treat. So, okay, I'm going to acknowledge that this is connected to sugar, and sugar is connected to the root chakra and how that works in my body. And so for today, that's okay. But the point is that you can't stay in that root chakra all the time because that's where it gets unhealthy. And unfortunately, most of us just stay in this survival place of um, of stuckness, the best words I can think of right now. And so we need to kind of constantly be flowing with the energy and flowing with our food because our bodies need that. Our bodies need to be moving energetically and emotionally and physically at all the times.
Yeah, absolutely. So a balance, right? It's got to be a balance. There's not all or nothing, which is an ego trick, you guys, to do all or nothing. I'm going to heal. I'm going to do these 52 things today. Guess what? Tomorrow I'm not going to do anything. So one thing at a time, baby steps are fine, but take an action toward your goal every day.
Well, when I was thinking about intention, the first thing in terms of what I want, I was thinking number one is what do you want? What do you really, really want?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, action steps, needs, wants, and desires.
Right.
Right. And then the third level is accountability. Who's
Right.
going to help me create this and be accountable for this? Because a lot of times we do it alone. And if there's one thing I've learned about my wonderful friendship with Britney is that it's always better when you can collaborate and work with people because we have relationships to help each other, to make each other accountable, to kind of talk about the yucky stuff and get that out so we can clear it and then move forward because part of it is in the unfolding. We all have bad days. Brittany and I are not perfect. Just because we're doing those modalities and we're healings, we're very much so human. We have the same struggles. We have Coles giving us a call while we're trying to meditate. Like we have these very human 3D moments. And at the same time, we acknowledge them and we can still use them as part of our unfolding. And we do it, we hold each other's space. And so that's for those of you that are watching this, thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this space because we are holding each other. And I would really recommend listening to this again. The breath work that Brittany did. I mean, I was feeling just tingles all over. It was moving. And then moving into that meditation for the family constellation, I just felt so present, which is so important in the moment to feel present. And the breath work is what made us present. So that's beautiful. You can go back and you can listen to it and you can connect to it more and more. The more time you do, it'll be active every single time you do, because we're setting it up in the field that it's live. It's the now moment. It's whenever it is that you're here, you're here. And that's adding to that energetic of it. And so we are in the beginning of 2024. This is the first month. This is our intention. This is our new moon manifestation. And we are creating. We are taking action that is equally divinely guided and appropriately planned for our wants, needs, and desires. And so thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for being a part of this class. There's a whole year of this. I have them all planned out. I'm so excited to see the unfolding of this year with everyone that is in the space and the collective in the now moment. And it's also being set up by my guides that people might be watching this in different years as well. So it's really about just the unfolding of this experience for those of you that are here. So thank you. Thank you to all of your guides. Thank you for all of our family, friends, relations, ancestors that are here still holding space for us as we are creating the intention for healing for ourselves and for humanity. And my guides are now showing me in the rows after the petals have all dropped, you know, there's that little kind of fluffy part with the little stems that's up. And they're showing that to me as this beautiful little seed. And they're saying to now take that beautiful seed and plant it with your intention. And they're so as you're actually, let's just do it. Let's just take a moment.
Yeah.
So let's just take a moment. I'll let my guides move this through. Yes, dear ones. Thank you. In this beautiful experience, in this beautiful now moment of the co-creation of intention, we are thanking you and all of you for being here in this now moment, for yourselves and for humanity, for the healings you do for yourselves and for the generations above and below. We are in humility, we are in gratitude for all that you do in service to the light. Allowing yourself to be as beautiful and vulnerable as a rose whose petals fall to the ground is allowing yourself to let go of the shoulds and should nots of what your expectations and projections of this life have become. Allowing yourself to step into the beauty of who you be in this moment, in this life, in this universe, as a bright and beautiful soul who is here to be divinely guided and take divinely guided action for yourself, for the world, and for the collective. Allowing yourself to be like the nucleus and be vibrating at the intensity of creation, where you are attracting the different molecules into and creating different genetic structures. The physics of the chemistry of how an atom creates and recreates and structures itself when different elements combine is the beauty of the manifestation. So by doing this beautiful intensive class on intention, you have let go like the roses of the petals. You have healed with your guardians and guides and ancestors, and you are now like a beautiful raw nucleus, attracting and allowing yourself to connect and reconnect and restructure the genetics of your nucleus. Dear ones, there is so much potential. By adding in what is of your highest and best intention, you are co-creating your world and the world for all of humanity. So take a moment to see the beauty of the raw element of who you be at the core, at the center of you, allowing yourself to call in abundance, to call in prosperity, to call in health and wellness, to call in peace, to call in connection, community, to call in all that is and all that was and all that will be. You are. You are. You are all. And you are all here experiencing this moment with life and divine joy. So, dear ones, take the gift of the rawness of who you be at the center and allow yourself to co-create and to attract what is new. What do you want, dear ones? What do you really, really want? For now is the time to call it in. Now is the time to take the steps that are needed to co-create it with the universe. You are not a victim. You are not a ball on the ocean floating aimlessly. You are riding the waves. You are calling in the waves. You are creating the sea of your reality. Dear ones, in this moment, feel yourself as the divine being that you are, and feel the power of your co-creation with us, with you. For all that you want, we want. So want what is beautiful, want what is excellent, want what is of the highest and best light for yourself and for all. Do not settle, do not put limitations. If this, then that will be good enough for me to survive. No more of that, dear ones. Think and be creators in the world and allowing yourself to create the most beautiful and possible reality for which you are the creatrix of. We are in much gratitude to you, and all of you do. We are the guardians, the council of the amalgamated conception who works with this being, and we are in gratitude to you. Thank you for being here with us, and thank you for being in this co-creation. We will be with you, and we will continue to overlight this program as it reaches more and more people. Like a wave, more and more will come. We are in gratitude to all of you. Blessings be. Aho.
Beautiful.
Wow, beautiful. For those of you watching this, drink water. That's a lot of subtle energy that we just went through. And remember that our body is 99% water. So try to drink your fresh filtered water. Wake up your water, pour it from cup to cup, kind of off a little bit, so that way you can set those intentions as well. I'm being reminded of the beauty of writing down your intention and putting your cup of water on top of it as to program the water, which is creating more of that structured and programmed water, which is connecting the, I don't even know, they kept showing me these chemistry things and nucleuses. It was very cool, and that's it. That's what we're doing. We're restructuring our DNA for the highest light that is possible. And so, Britney, how are you feeling in terms of closing this course for today?
Yeah, I feel good. I think I'm reminded just quickly of something I saw on Instagram. But Paige has already talked about this new moon in Capricorn and how it's more action based. So people who are wanting to meet these goals call in that discipline, the power, and the drive. And what I thought was so interesting is I love numerology. I think so does Paige. So 2023 was a 7-year, 2024 is an 8-year. And I'm reminded again through, I follow Everything Aligns on Instagram, and the 7 years, I'm just going to read really quickly. 7 is all about the inner work, self-discovery, self-reflection, going inward. So we're literally figuring out what do we need to get rid of. And this 8-year is going to bring about abundance, success, karmic lessons, and stepping into your power. So it's more achievement based. And we are literally doing that right now, which I thought was really interesting because we just kind of did what came to our minds. And this is what we were guided to do. And of course.
Of course, because we're open to it. Yay.
Right. So yes, I am ready to close. I think
All right.
this has been lovely.
Right, we'll just take a moment, and we want to thank of our guides who came into this circle. We release you with the highest and most beautiful, loving, and divinely light of highest guidance. Thank you for being here. Thank you to our family, friends, and relations. This circle is now open. You are released, and the circle is free. Thank you so much for being here in this moment. Thank you to Britney. What is your website again, Britney?
energeticrestoration.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at energetic_restoration.
Beautiful. And I am Paige LussierJohnson.com. And you can follow me on Instagram at Love and Light, LUVNL888. I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.